In this video, I'm going to be doing a taste testing of a batch of raisin wine that I made 7 months ago. Hi, I'm Charles and welcome to DIY Fermentation, your site for doing fermentation on a shoestring budget. Okay, there are no new members to report at the filming of this video, so we'll just get right down to it. If you've not seen any of my wine tastings before, they're pretty short and they're pretty simple affairs. I'm either going to like it or I'm not, okay? There's no great pomp and circumstance involved with doing my videos, so let's get to it. Again, this was made roughly 7 months ago. Getting harder and harder to do the 6-month tastings because I'm now letting them bulk age longer and longer before I bottle them. This one was already back sweetened, I think like about 3 months ago. So I don't have to worry about any surprises there. Of the 2 bottles that I have here, this was the last bottle that I was able to bottle. So it's coming up, it came up a little short. The bottling was done about 3 days ago. In order to get this much of it, I ended up getting a little bit more of the sediment that was at the bottom of the jug, but those things just can't be helped sometimes. I didn't want to water it down and dilute it with anything else, so I decided this is the bottle I'll be doing the tasting with, and the rest of the remaining 4 bottles, those will probably just, if I don't drink them right away, will probably sit around for at least a 12-month period while I'll do another 12-month tasting. Now then, on to business. Let's see what we got here. That sound never gets old. The aroma kind of comes straight out of the bottle. So let's see what we got here. Speaking of the bottle, yeah, there is a layer of sediment on the bottom. That was to be expected. And when I did a comparison between the clarity of this bottle versus this bottle is actually a little bit more cloudier. So I'm just knowing that going in. Pouring the first glass. No effervescence, no fizziness. The wine was properly degassed. Actually, it was the first wine that I was able to degas using my new degassing tool, so I'm happy that worked out. In terms of the wine itself, just by looking at it, it's got a little bit of body to it. Normally, if you swirl it around a little bit, you can tell if your wine is on the thin side or if it's got, I guess they refer to it as if it got legs. But as far as I'm concerned, it doesn't appear to be thin. You can smell the aroma of the raisins. Yep, it's a sweet aroma at the end. Can barely smell the alcohol, which is surprising because this came in at, really, 18.4%. Okay, good. All right, so let's see what we have here. Of course, one thing about my wine videos, if I'm going to make it, I'm going to drink it. Hopefully, I'll be able to finish the bottle, but we'll see. A couple of things. It's sweet. It's a nice sweet wine. There is a slight amount of harshness at the back end. 7 months is not quite enough time, in my opinion, for this wine. I think this would be great at 12 months. Yeah, this would be great at 12 months. You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of sherry. It's what it tastes like to me. In the glass, when you do when you inhale some of the aromas, you can pick up the alcohol. But then again, 18%. How can you not? I think the reason for the higher alcohol content was that I used a step back feeding method where at the end of what I consider to be fermentation, I would begin adding sugar and then waiting for the hydrometer reading to stabilize, and then add a little bit more sugar. And if there was no change in the readings, then I knew that fermentation had been completed, and I can go ahead and sweeten it as much as I like without the possibility of restarting fermentation. The only downside to doing that, though, is that every time you do that and fermentation does restart, for that first little bit of sugar you add and maybe the second, is that it raises the alcohol content, the overall end product. So that's a side effect to that method. I'm looking into doing pasteurization, possibly as a way of stopping fermentation, but it seems like such an involved process. I don't know if I want to go through all of that. But back to the star of the show. I like the sweetness of it. As a sweet wine, this is great. If it wasn't just for that harsh residual, or that residual harshness at the end, and I won't say malolactic fermentation has not yet been complete, because it hasn't. But needless to say, this is not bad. When I first started doing this wine, and I posted it on my Facebook page for my Facebook friends, not my DIY fermentation Facebook page, but one of my friends posted it, and one of her friends made a comment that when she tried raisin wine, it tasted like cough syrup. I don't get that at all. To me, the raisin taste is definitely there, but again, to me, it tastes more like a sherry than it does cough syrup. So again, simple video, very short video. My interpretation on this, on the raisin wine at the 7-month stage, is that yeah, this was worth the effort of trying out so far. At the end of this video, I'll have a link to the original video. Normally, if there's something that I feel that could be made in the way of an adjustment to the ingredients, I'll make the adjustment to the original video ingredients list, which is in the comments section below that you can find there. But I don't think I have to make any changes with this. This can stay as is, no changes there. And on the original video, of course, I'll have a link to the tasting video, so that if you're considering trying it out, then you'll have a before and after